Hello and welcome to another episode of the Blue Mountain Makes podcast. My name is Mary Lynn and I'm coming to you as always from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. I'm trying a new camera setup today, so it feels a little weird, borrowing my husband's GoPro, so we'll see how this goes. I don't really have a viewfinder, so I've recorded this whole thing already and most everything recorded from here up, and so I was showing stuff. You couldn't see it, so take two. Okay, so today I have 2 finished objects, a couple of works in progress, and then I'm going to chat a little bit about my plans for vacation knitting, because I'm going on vacation this coming Friday. Technically Saturday, but we're leaving at like 2:30 in the morning on Friday, so I'm counting it as Friday. Very excited. Alright, anyway, so my first finished object is the Argo Tank by Clare Lakewood. This is knit on size US 3 needles. I use Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino in ochre brown and oatmeal, I think is the contrast color. It's very small. I think I knew going in that it was going to be fairly short, but yeah, it's like really, really small. And the thing is, if you want to make it longer, you have to know from the get-go, because it's got such a weird construction. You start in the back and you knit the whole back panel, and then you knit seamlessly up and over your shoulder straps to the front to this point where you put it on hold and then have to pick up for these 2 front flaps. So if you're going to make it longer, you have to know when you're doing that back panel to make it a little bit longer. And the thing I don't love about this pattern is you can't really try it on to get a fit feel based on the way that it's constructed, because it kind of wraps up and around. I mean, I put it on, but it doesn't tell you a whole lot when it's just kind of a flap in the back and then like a little flap in the front. So would I say it's my favorite pattern ever? No. Yeah. It wasn't. I didn't mind how it was written. I had mentioned before that, like, I didn't think that it had any. Sometimes designers will say, repeat this pattern section 18 rows, or, like 9 contrast stripes or whatever. And I didn't think that she had that in there, but she did. There's just a lot of, like, verbiage. So I think I missed it for the first few passes I did, and then I picked up on the little hints and tips. Yeah. I twisted my shoulder strap. That was a fun story. This one, I didn't do like the best job ever of fixing it. I tried to film how I fixed it. So I picked up a row, skipped a row, picked up another row onto 2 DP ends, and then I just snipped a stitch and ripped it out, the middle section out, and then just kitchen it back together after I untwisted it. And it worked fine, but trying to record what I'm doing while doing it something for the first time, I've never cut into my knits like that and fixed them. Yeah, it didn't do the best job ever, but I mean, I could go back and like whip stitch that to make it a little cleaner, but I don't really care. Honestly, I don't know how much I'm going to wear this. We'll see. It looks really cute on. I will try to remember to take a picture and kind of insert it in here. I am not super confident in like crop tops. I don't usually wear them, but I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, so we'll see. Fingers crossed, we will see. So yeah, there's that. The other thing I don't necessarily like about it is, so you have these little flippy things in the front, and you're supposed to kind of tie them so that they look like that. They immediately fall apart. I don't know. So I'm going to have to pin them to keep them. I'm not going to stand around fussing all day with my front ties. Like, that's just not going to happen. So I think somewhere in like these folds, I'm just going to stick a little pin and call it good enough. Oh, and I still have one. There's a lot of ends to weave into. That was the other thing. And because it's cotton merino and not just regular wool, I don't want to talk about it. Plus, you have to do a finishing edge along the whole front, the back, and each arm. And that's actually where I figured out that I had twisted my strap. You're supposed to pick up and knit the stitches and then bind everything off, but it's so many and I'm lazy, so I just used a size B crochet hook and just crocheted a finished edge. It doesn't look bad, I don't think. I think it's fine. So that's my first finished object. It worked out pretty quickly, mainly because there's not a whole lot there. I still have 2 balls left. I have 1 ball of the brown that I barely touched and most of the oatmeal left. I don't think it's quite enough to get like another garment out of, but we'll see. I might see if I can get like another cropped something. I don't know. So we'll see. So that's that. My next one is a Ripple Bralette by Jessie Made Designs. This is not a new pattern. Many people have made it. I went to bed one night in the last couple of weeks and was like, you know what I need? I need a bralette. And the ones that I have that I bought from the store, I feel like they're squeezing the life out of me while I'm trying to sleep. So a knit bralette is actually pretty great. I don't like this yarn. This was stash yarn I had. It's hobby. It's their like hand dyed. I don't know how hand dyed it actually is, but it's a superwash merino. So I knew it wasn't going to hold its shape very well, and it hasn't. I've worn this once, and it's a Ripple bralette. Like, it's supposed to stretch out, but I think this yarn is going to stretch out and stay out, and that's going to suck. So, yeah. This was not hard to make. I used size 4 needles? Maybe not. I used whatever was recommended in the pattern, and this is a fingering weight yarn. Obviously knit up super quick. You have a twisted rib at the bottom, and then a 3x3 rib for the actual top. And there's a little bit more twisted rib kind of at the back, which has already blown out. I don't like this yarn. I have a pair of socks I've made out of this, and they are so floppy on my feet. It's kind of ridiculous. So I kind of knew it going in, but I had it in stash, and I'm not going to use it for anything else, so I figured why not. And this is like a good test. So now that I know I like it, and I have slept in it, and it is comfortable, I will make another one. I think I'm going to try to find a softer, like regular wool, non-superwash wool. I like palette, but I don't know if it's going to be quite soft enough. We'll see. So in the future, I'm sure there will be more. I made a size 4. Yeah, size 4. I think I will make a size 3 for my next one. She does make a note in the pattern that if you want something a little bit more conforming, to maybe go down a size, or she said like 9 to 10 inches of negative ease, I think is what she recommends. So I will go down another size, but I did add a little bit extra length to it, and I am glad I did that, and I might add a little bit more length to my next one. But yeah, super fun little pattern. Cranked it out like in a week and a half. Not bad. And I really like the stripes. I don't love the stripes. It just happens to be striped. I like the straps. This is a double-edged I-cord, I think is what she calls it, or double knit I-cord. It basically consists of knit a stitch, wrap a stitch, knit a stitch, wrap a stitch, and then you flip-flop it on the back. And it makes it very flat instead of round, which I like. And I have yarn and intentions to make 2 more camisole number 4s. So I might use this technique instead of just a regular I-cord, because I'm not a huge fan of plain I-cord straps. So we'll see. But yeah, that's that. Those are my 2 finished objects. I don't have a whole lot to talk about this week. I am trying to get things off of my needle so I can take a couple small projects with me on vacation, and then when I get back, just kind of cast on new stuff. So I'm trying really hard to get things completed. It's not going great. I do have my Aurora Cabin Shawl that I'm still working on. I've shown it a couple times. I haven't made that much progress. I'm on the final section, the chevrons at the bottom. But they are more than 1,000 stitches per row, so it's not going very quickly. And when I first started doing it, I got through 3 rows, so 3,000 plus stitches, before I realized that the points of my chevron were off by 1 stitch, so it didn't match up with the section before it. So I ripped out 3,000 stitches, and I cried a little bit on the inside. So I'm not going to show it. I'll show it, hopefully, next time we talk it will be finished. Because I only have 3 more rows of the final section, and then the crazy long I-cord edge, which I'm really not looking forward to. But it's okay, because I'm going to take it in little bite-sized sections. It's going to be great. And then it'll be done, and I can wear it. I'm excited to wear it. So, there's that. I was actually prepared this time and had like this cute basket instead of just a bunch of stuff on the floor, like I usually do. Let's talk about this. This is the Schfike pullover by Caitlin Hunter. I started this quite a while ago. I really thought I'd be finished with it by now, but fun story. So, this is my progress. The dark color is Drops Flora. The variegated is Malabrigo Sock, and I can't remember the name. Primavera, maybe, is the name of the colorway. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. I made a size 4 because I wanted to make sure I had plenty of room to wear something underneath it, because this is a lace panel, and obviously it's very see-through. But I have worn it, well, you know, trying it on. I've been trying it on without anything underneath of it, and you actually really can't see anything, especially if I wear like a nude bra color. So probably I won't wear anything under it, which is fine. But, so, let's see. Last time we chatted, I had started the body. And I knew going into the body that I was going to have to do some waist shaping, because it seemed very large. And when I was, I don't know, probably an inch or two into it, I mean, it just kind of flared out from my body. It was huge. So I did the waist shaping, and I marked the 2 edge seams, and then did decrease on either side of that. So it was 4 decreases per decrease round. And I just kept decreasing and decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. And then it started to make this weird shape. And it just looked really bad. It looked really bad. But of course, I just kept going, because surely it'll magically get better. And it never does. So I got almost to where I am now. Actually, no, I did. I definitely made it to where I am now. I knit this much of it. And then just was like, no, I don't like that. And so I ripped it all back out. And to tell you how much difference in size... So I knit the same amount, and then I still have, this is just what I ripped out from the last time, and I had that much extra yarn left over, size-wise difference between this version that I'm doing and the waist-shaped version. So what I did this time is, straight after the yoke is finished, I decreased 60 stitches, 60-ish. 60 was the intention. I didn't end up counting. I kind of just did the math. I think I decreased 1 every 4 to 5 stitches. I just didn't knit 2 together. So it ended up being 60-ish all the way around, and it is much, much, much better. This fits so much better, and it doesn't have any weird looking shaping, and you really can't even tell where I did. Yeah, you really can't tell unless you're super, super looking for it, where I did the decreases. I'm way happier with it this way. And it's taken up a lot less yarn, fabric. So that is why this has taken so long, because I've basically knit the body twice. But it fits really nicely. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is when I block it, I'm afraid that the lace might open up a bit and it might be a little like baggy up top. But I don't think it will. Especially, I'm not planning to like stretch it out to block it. I'm just gonna lay it flat and not touch it, not pin it, and it should be fine. So, we'll see. But I'm very, very pleased with it so far. I don't know if I'm going to get to wear it this season, which is kind of a bummer, because it's already quite warm out. It's April, but it feels like it's like June. It's been in the 80s. I think later this week it's going to be almost 90 again. Like, ugh. So, might be I'm in the air conditioning looking outside kind of wear, just so I can wear it this summer. I don't know. But we'll see. And the other thing I'm thinking about doing is a little bit of color work on the sleeves. She doesn't call for that in her pattern. You just knit it straight down to the ribbing. But I think when I get to about here, I might do either, I'm going to do just one of the like plain stripe rounds, or I might do a stripe round plus this little like mountain looking bumpies. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I get there. Also, we'll see how many stitches I have and how hard that's going to be to make that work. But so it might just be a single stripe. But I think it'd be nice to have just a little something there. So yeah, that's that. Not really sure when this will be done. This one is now kind of a back burner since it is out of season. and I'm really dreaming about some more summer knits. But I will finish it. I'm not going to let this sit all summer. I do not like that. And plus I need these needles. So, I don't know if I mentioned it. US 5 is what I have these on. Or what I'm making this on. US 5. Which is the recommended needle. And I think the ribbing is done on a 4. Not that I'm doing that. I never do the bottom rib any smaller. I really should. Because I always complain that it doesn't really like cinch in. You know, if you do the things you're supposed to do, they turn out better. I always forget. Like, I just get in that stockinette and I'm like, I'm almost done. And so I just flow right into the ribbing and don't think twice about it. I've only got like 2 rows done of the ribbing, so maybe I'll just... Yeah, I'm just going to switch my tips. Mental note. That's that. Oh, now I have a little pile going. Alright, the last thing I have to talk about is not very exciting. It's a sock. And I'm not much of a sock knitter. I want to be. Let me make that very clear. I desperately want to be a sock knitter, and I'm just not. And I don't know. So last year for Christmas knits, I made some bear paw socks by Andrew Mowry. And it's a DK weight, and it's really good because it's ribbed all over. So it's a little forgiving for not exactly knowing the size of the foot of the person that you're knitting it for. So I made only 1 pair, I think, of those. And they went by like that because it's DK. And it was super simple. And then I bought the DRK Everyday Sock pattern, which is the same pattern but for fingering weight. And I've made this sock. And I turned the heel of the second sock last weekend and just was like, I hate this. And I ripped it all out. And I'm going to rip this one out because I just don't like them. This one is a little bit too long. Which, good lord, these things make my feet look like they're 6 miles long. I mean, I have big feet, but I don't think they're quite this big. I don't think I like the Flegel heel. I don't know. I just don't love them. And I bound this one off like way too tight. So when I'm trying to put it on, I didn't do like Jenny's stretchy bind off like I really should have. And it just gets stuck on my heel. So, yeah, I don't like it. I'm going to end up having to rip this one out. And then I'm now doing, I think it's called the Trusty Toe-Up Sock. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I just grabbed that. I've never done toe-up socks before, other than the DRK ones. I find it harder than I thought it would be to gauge how far up my foot to go to stop before I do the short row, or do the heels. And I know they say like give it 2 inches, but I'm sure that my row gauge must be off because like last night, okay, so this is version number 2. I ripped the DRK sock all the way back to the toe box and then just left the toe, and I'm doing 2x2 rib on the top and just plain stockinette on the bottom because I prefer that. And last night, I got to the point where I thought it was time to do the heel flap. And then, it was so stupid. It was late at night, and I always know, like, just do some stockinette at night. Like, you don't need to have to think at 10 o'clock at night. But I was like, I'll just do the heel of this real quick, and then I'll be all set for just doing the top part and the cuff, and it'll be great. So I pulled up the pattern, knit the heel flap and gusset, got all the way through it, picked my stitches up the side, the whole 9 yards, and then I was like, this just doesn't look right. Something about this just does not look right. And then I realized that I had pulled up a completely separate, unrelated pattern for a top-down sock and had knit the whole heel backwards, basically. Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh. So I ripped it all out last night. I just put it down and it's like, how do you manage? I think I was doing the Trusty Toe-Up Sock is the pattern I'm actually following. And the pattern I pulled up was the Vanilla Latte Sock, which is completely unrelated. And I just don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but it was so funny. I just was like, well, that's why I don't do it late at night. Dumb. So, anyways, long story short, I ripped all that out, picked the stitches back up. And so I'm now faced with the decision of, do I want to do a short row heel or an afterthought heel? I've never done either of those. The short row heel and the pattern, the real pattern, calls for wrap and turns, and I don't like doing wrap and turns, so I know I could just do German short rows. And I think I like the look of that better. I don't know. I think I'm going to do a short row heel for this one, and then part of what I'm taking with me on vacation is going to be sock knitting, so I really need these needles free by Friday, which should be fine. But I think for those, since I'm going to the beach and I don't really want to pay super close attention, I think those would be nice to do afterthought heels, because I can just knit a giant tube and then decide later where I'm going to snip it and then add the heel in. And I think that could be really nice. So yeah, that's the plan. The yarn that I'm planning to take with me is this. So this is Yarnable, or Hypnotic Yarn, her Yarnable box that she does. This was last October's colorway. It's called the Raven. Sock base 85-15, superwash merino, and nylon. Yeah, so that'll be that. And then I also have this little teeny tiny mini, I think this is only a 10 gram skein, it's not even a 25. So I was wondering if I could squeeze a toe and a heel out of this, and I don't think I can. So I might just use this for the toe and then the cuff band, like at the very top, just to use it up, because I mean, like, what am I going to use 10 grams of yarn for? But this is the Hawthorne base from Knit Picks, and I hand dyed this last summer just as like a fun experiment, and I think it actually matches pretty well, weirdly. Is it going to be too matchy-matchy? Maybe, but my other options were like bright blue, so that definitely didn't match. So we'll see. I think that could be kind of cool. And I should be able to get probably 2 pairs of socks out of this. I could probably do like one taller and then like a shorty pair. So we'll see. But that's that. And then my other pair that I'm planning to make is going to be with my hand spun. This is Blue Face Luster. I think I didn't ply it tight enough to really make it like a proper sock. So I think these will just be like house socks. But it's definitely a fingering weight. And there's definitely a lot of it, and it's so squishy, and I've not knit anything with my hand spun yet, so this will be my first hand spun project. Lumps, bumps, and all. So, yeah, kind of looking forward to that. So that's more or less it. The only other thing I wanted to touch on is, I guess, kind of like plans for when I get back from vacation. So it is mid-April now. I'll be gone until the end of April, but the DRK March to May knit-along is still going on, and I have done absolutely nothing for that. And I really want to make a pink fizz. So that is a bottom-up fingering weight and merino sweater. And it's got like these big lace panels that kind of wrap up and over the whole sweater. So I think that is going to require some, I'm going to have to really pay attention, I think, to that. Some mental bandwidth. So I would like to have the Aurora Cabin Shawl off my needles. And yeah, I mean, I'd like to have that one done before I start this, which should be possible. But I had this stuff in stash. I've been wanting a green sweater for a long time, and I was looking to buy some yarn. And then I thought to myself, like, didn't I buy green yarn last summer? They had a sale. Drops had like a alpaca sale of some sort. And I bought a sweater's quantity of this. But when it came, it was too yellow for what I wanted to use it. And I went back and looked. It's called lemongrass. It's like, I don't know why I'm surprised that it's yellow. Of course it's going to be a yellow green. But it doesn't look good on me. So then I went further back in my stash and found quite a few balls of the Drops Kid Silk, and I did a little swatch, and together this really tones down the yellow in this, so it looks really, really good, and I think it's fun to use for my pink fizz. I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. Definitely looking forward to that. It's got a split hem, and I think a pretty generous rib at the bottom, so I'll definitely be able to tell, like, if this for some reason doesn't sit right with me once it's being knit up into a garment. My gosh, there's goat hair in my mouth. Anyways, I'll know pretty early on. So that's some plans for that. And then the only other thing I'm really excited about casting on is more Drops yarn. This is Drops Belle, and I will be using this for the Provence top. And that is, I think it's knit on size 6 or 7, US 6 or 7 needles, so that should go super fast. And I'm not planning to add sleeves to it. It's a short sleeve top with a lace panel at the top, but if I don't add the sleeves, that cuts off a whole, it's a drop shoulder, so it should hit me about here. I've seen another podcaster wear hers, and it fits super well without the sleeves, so I think that's my plan. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. Pretty excited. Very excited about vacation. Very excited to swim and do absolutely nothing for a week. But knit and eat. Yes. Knit and eat and swim. So that's that. I'm still planning to podcast in 2 weeks. I missed a week this past time. I try to stay on the every 2 week schedule, and then this past time I did 3 weeks, mainly because it would coincide better with being on vacation, because blah blah. If I was on my regular schedule, I would be away during when I should have filmed. So I think this hopefully will kind of spread my projects out a little bit, and you guys can see if I've made some kind of terrible disaster with my afterthought heel socks that I'm gonna knit. But we shall see. So thank you for tuning in. If you've made it this far, you're a trooper. Sorry, I feel very rambly today. I've got a lot going on in my brain. I've got a lot of stuff to do, so I'm gonna go do it. But thank you for stopping by. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you treat yourself to something nice, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.